Hello everyone, my name is Natalia. This is the week number 6 and we talked about how in this world there are new challenges that education faces. Because the world is expanding itself and the expansion comes in terms also of demands. There are new multifaceted skills that this century is requiring for people and for professional growth. So the role of the teacher is being redefined as well because we are professionals that are constantly growing and transforming ourselves, specifically in education. It is no longer enough to rigidly transmit knowledge to our students because we should know their contextual reality. So that is why we need to know in foreign language how we are going to make them immerse themselves in the context of learning a foreign language. Um, and this comes from questioning the context, the curricula, the language curricula, the institutional philosophy of the school, as well as the community that is building itself. We are in a country where there is other regulations that tells us how to do it and what to do. What are the indicators that we are going to achieve at the end of the years with each grade? So we know that we need to create our own lesson plans as well as our own curricula, as our own pedagogical proposal. So in this way, we need theorize. We need to theorize about the context, about what are the phenomena that are happening inside this context. Theory is essential, but it's empty if we don't make it into practice, because as Lloyd says, there can be no pure theory here, only degrees of myopia to the extent on hands-on experience is omitted. Any of so-called theory practice of this sense is a chimera. So one must distinguish rational change. Rational change that is balancing the theory and the practice. And there comes the principle that Kumara developed tells us and guides us through, which is practicality and particularity. The particular sense, the particular things that occur inside the context, inside the language classroom, only comes from that point, from the reality of our students, because it is different teaching an indigenous community rather than teaching some students from the city. We should know how to act better in this sense. And it comes to practicality. Practicality helps us build from theory what we need to have in our practice, in our language practice, as well as the teaching practice, specifically the last one. So in the sense of designing curricula, we should know and plan the evaluation processes that come within this sense. And as Dewey stated, education is not a preparation for life, it is life itself. This comes in handy when I said before that we should build the spaces for the students to immerse themselves in the knowledge, because learning is a choice and is not something that I am going to make the students to do. Learning is a conscious process, but acquisition comes with exposing the learners to the knowledge that they are going to acquire, exposing themselves to challenges, real life challenges, and as well as tasks that makes them question themselves, makes them question the theories their society, and to help them build a participative thinking in their own society, how to build communities through the things that they face in their reality. So the classes will need variation, and that takes into account the resources that we are going to use to participate. And in this article, I said how sometimes in a school with with an indigenous community, we lack of resources. We lack of resources that are updated, that come in this same century, that are new. But if we build, our class, our lesson plan is strong enough, this should overcome those things. And this comes with knowing what resources we have and how could we potentiate those things. And this comes with the other article that I posted, because we should know our resources better. And to know our resources better, it can also be helpful to build efficacy throughout our practice. So, as I said in this article, we need to have variation in our classes that take into account, in this specific context of an indigenous community, the minimal resources that may appear, to innovate in our classes, permeating our students' minds with new possible paths to learn. We should tell them what are the opportunities they could have with the knowledge they are going to immerse themselves. And in this way, it can integrate their worldview of teaching Spanish and English, and practicality reminds us of the importance of teacher reflection in our own practice, analyzing and improving our strategies. The possibility conceives education a tool for social transformation, providing opportunities for those marginalized contexts. And in this sense, we come with the previous example that I just mentioned. The classroom should be a collaborative space where students build knowledge together, developing their critical and thinking and autonomy, because we are not the ones that are learning. The ones that are learning are the students, and we should build dialogues regarding the knowledge.